Hundreds of state vehicle inspection shops found in violation of the law for illegally passing drivers.
So are you surprised you're still doing inspections?
Yes.
Some busted by law enforcement. In some cases, state officials not citing bad actors. A KVUE Defenders investigation inspecting the inspectors.
And tonight we launch an investigative series uncovering flaws in the state's vehicle safety inspection program.
KVUE Defender Andy Parati exposes a system allowing repeat violators to continue inspecting vehicles.
Like sign language only drivers understand, Bob Bright instructs a big rig owner through a state safety inspection required once a year by Texas law.
What speedometer read?
All on his Hoveround.
The reason I use this is I got a right knee that don't have no cartilage in it.
State records show the 75-year-old Winsboro garage owner conducted at least 2,800 inspections over the past 3 years and did not fail one driver. He makes as much as $40 per inspection.
I make sure they got everything correct on
So you
there.
feel like you go above and beyond?
I'm not going to say I go above, but I try to do exactly what it takes to make sure one's safe.
State officials disagree. According to the Department of Public Safety records, Bob's Garage has been cited at least a dozen times for violations over the past 3 years, the majority for not conducting proper safety inspections. More violations than any other shop in the state.
With all these violations, are you surprised you're still doing inspections?
Yes.
Bright blames the violations on an over-aggressive DPS inspector.
Because if she could find anything positive, she'd have my license.
The KVUE Defenders investigation uncovered Bob's Garage is one of 188 inspection shops across Texas cited at least 3 or more times for serious violations, allowed to stay in operation, conducting thousands of safety inspections a year. Violations statewide range from accepting cash to pass unsafe vehicles to missing paperwork. Like Groovy Automotive in Austin, records show DPS cited 3 of its shops 9 times for failing to account for inspection certificates and not safeguarding them. DPS says missing paperwork could signal someone is illegally passing inspections.
Then yes, we are charged with keeping those things under lock and key. But just like in Walmart or any place else, sometimes bad people do bad things.
Renero Bowie is the Assistant Director of Regulatory Services at DPS, in charge of the state's vehicle inspection program. How can a facility be cited so many times still be allowed to operate?
Well, we do take it on a case-by-case basis. If a station has been cited multiple times, it depends on the infraction, whether it's a major infraction or a minor infraction.
Only ones there when Houston police went undercover to catch car inspection shops breaking the law.
Over the past 3 years, law enforcement busted at least 126 inspection shops after it found inspectors illegally passing vehicles for cash. But the KVUE Defenders found at least 12 of those shops were never cited by the state. Like this Houston shop, 3 of its inspectors pled or were found guilty of tampering with government records. DPS never cited the shop owner.
That's what statute allows for. Statute treats it as 2 separate entities. The station and the inspector are considered separate under the statute.
That means inspection shop owners can stay open, even if law enforcement finds rogue inspectors breaking the law.
Hey, I need your insurance.
Inspectors accused of not doing their jobs, in charge of keeping thousands of vehicles safe on the road.
State inspection stations profiting from failing drivers.
A lot of times, they'll try to fail you for something that you don't even necessarily need.
Exclusive information the KVUE Defenders uncovered about inspection failure rates the state didn't know existed. A KVUE Defenders investigation inspecting the inspectors. Tonight, the KVUE Defenders reveal it does matter where you go for a state vehicle inspection.
Yeah, Defender Andy Parati analyzed millions of records and uncovered inspection shops are more likely to fail drivers for certain parts if they also sell them.
Under the hood.
In 10 minutes or less, Allen's Vehicle Inspection Shop can make you legal for the road.
Checking belts, power steering fluid, brake fluid mainly.
2 tiny garages selling nothing but dozens of safety inspections a day.
An average day is probably 50.
Inspecting but not selling wipers, tires, or gas caps, 3 of the most frequent failures statewide.
In some places, they'll they're just designed to sell parts. I mean, that's part of the main reason why some of the shops get into it, so they can find something to either fail you on or charge you to fix.
That got us thinking. Is it true? Do some inspection shops really do fail drivers to make a profit? So the KVUE Defenders filed public records requests for millions of inspections over the past 2.5 years from the Department of Public Safety, which regulates state vehicle inspection shops. No one has ever requested or reviewed the data before, so the agency charged us $1,038. Here's what we found. Inspection shops that also sell parts like tires and windshield wipers statistically fail drivers more for those parts than shops that don't sell them. The data doesn't prove the inspection shops fail drivers intentionally. Near the top of that list, A1 Tire and Service in Llano, Texas.
Our motto is big or small, we do them all.
Of the 195 vehicles that failed over the past 2.5 years, state records show 71% were for, you guessed it, tires. Diane Winningham is the shop owner. 71% of all of your failures over the past 2.5 years has been tires. You also sell them.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Well, one, we are in Llano County. This is a very small town, and it's a real low economic level.
Winningham argues most of its customers drive their tires until they're bald, which increases tire failures. So you're not failing people to make a profit?
No, we do not make a profit.
More than 164,000 Texas drivers failed for bad windshield wipers over the past few years. The inspection shop with the highest percentage of wiper failures is in Limestone County. It's Allen's Tires and Service. Of the 341 vehicles that failed, 54% were for wipers, the highest percentage in the state. It also sells wipers. Its owner declined to be interviewed, but over the phone told me a past employee who has not been here for a while was a windshield wiper nut. In the past 6 months, we probably have not failed anyone for a windshield. While the numbers clearly showed the potential to profit from failures, the KVUE Defenders uncovered the state doesn't use its own data to proactively search for inspection shops taking advantage of drivers.
No, sir, not specifically whether or not the number of sales that they make pertaining to a single piece of equipment. That's not part of the audit process.
Raniero Bowie is in charge of the state's vehicle inspection program at DPS. He argues the state will investigate if it receives a complaint, but admits it could do more.
It could be something we could look at. So in two parts. No, it's not part of the audit process, but if something were to come up, is it something our inspectors could look at? Yes.
New information about inspections the state isn't using to prevent unscrupulous shops from taking advantage of drivers.
Taxpayer money intended to help low-income drivers pass state inspections going elsewhere.
It's a big old question mark.
The agency in charge of the program unwilling to go on camera.
No, you're not going to speak to me.
A KVUE Defenders investigation inspecting the inspectors.
Tonight, the Defenders uncover millions of taxpayer dollars are not going to those who need them most.
The money is intended to help drivers who can't afford to pass state inspections. KVUE Defender Andy Parati tracks it down.
Like the lyrics in Prince's song suggest, Lee Clemens is about to lose it. After paying an auto mechanic hundreds of dollars, his service engine light just turned on.
It just won't go away.
Clemens says his Ford F-150 runs great, but each year he forks out hundreds of dollars for a mechanic to find a way to turn his engine light off so he can pass a state-mandated safety inspection, only to have it turn back on months later.
It's a spirit.
A ghost.
A ghost. Lurching around somewhere in the truck there.
To help drivers just like Clemens, the state created a program to help low-income drivers pay for expensive repairs to pass inspections. It's called LIRAP, or Low Income Repair and Replacement Assistance Program. It's funded by emission test fees drivers pay during an inspection. Since 2012, it's collected $173 million, but the KVUE Defenders uncovered just 28% has actually gone to drivers in need.
It's a big old question mark. I think the first thing I asked you was, well, where's the rest of the money going to?
That's what we wanted to know, so we reached out to the agency in charge of the program, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. A state agency we found did not want to answer our questions on camera.
I was entertaining a motion.
In April, the KVUE defenders attended a TCEQ public meeting. When it was over, our investigative producer tried to talk to the commissioner.
Do you mind speaking with me about a TCEQ program that I've had an issue getting an interview with about?
Agency staff quickly stopped us.
No, you're not going to speak to me.
It's not good TV. That's subjective. I'm sorry.
TCEQ then kicked us out of the building.
Seemed like it's something that there to help people. You'd be proud to be on camera.
To talk about it.
Talk about it.
TCEQ argues it gave us the opportunity to interview on the phone. In an email, staff addressed the funding this way. The Texas legislature has sole discretion to appropriate funds. In other words, money intended to help low-income drivers went back to the state's general fund.
That is an incredible burden.
Texas State Senator Don Humphreys is a vocal opponent of state vehicle inspections. He believes our findings show the program has no intention of helping drivers or keeping them safe on the road.
It's about keeping inspection stations in business, and it's about getting the state of Texas more revenue.
Could you benefit from that program? Could you have benefited?
Boy, as much money I've invested in this truck and that ghost and spirit, sure, definitely so.
So other than that engine light, everything's been great?
Been great.
Safe vehicle?
Safe vehicle.
A program intended to help low-income drivers. It's that darn ghost.
That ghost.
Haunting those who could use it the most.
How you doing?
He's the face of good news and sometimes bad for drivers.
So, it failed. You need a gas cap.
But garage owner Jay Lucas says his state-mandated safety inspections keep drivers safe on the road.
We see some bad things in here that would be going down the road that if a tire blew out would kill someone.
Lucas's garage is one of about 11,000 licensed inspection stations across Texas. It accounts for about 20% of Lucas's revenue.
Yeah, quite a bit.
While Texas requires its vehicles to undergo inspections each year, a growing number of states have dismantled their inspection programs. In all, about 34 states so far. The KVUE defenders identified at least 3 studies which show inspection programs do not create safer roads, like this 2008 North Carolina report which found no evidence exists showing the safety inspection program is effective. North Carolina eventually then threw out its inspections.
We're going to now go to the second interim charge, evaluate the efficiency and effectiveness of the state's vehicle inspection program.
In January, the Texas Senate Transportation Committee held a hearing on the state's inspection program. Economics professor Daniel Sutter with Troy University testified on his research, showing inspection programs don't keep drivers safe.
We were able to find no statistically significant effect of mandatory inspections on either fatalities or injuries.
Texas State Senator Don Humphrey requested the hearing. He claims inspections cost Texans more than $200 million a year in lost time.
It's about keeping inspection stations in business, and it's about getting the state of Texas more revenue.
Huffines is an unlikely critic. His family owns the Huffines Motor Company, which operates dealerships across North Texas.
Huffines puts the fun back in the car buying process,
which perform about 20,000 vehicle inspections a year. About how much revenue do you think that is?
That's probably, $1.5 million, $1.4 million in revenue related to it.
So your family could actually lose money if the vehicle inspection program is dismantled?
We definitely will.
Huffines plans to file legislation next session to dismantle the program, but it won't come without a fight.
To be quite honest about it, I would categorically say he's wrong.
Mike Knowles is the president of the Texas State Inspection Association. He argues this 2015 study by Mellon University specific to Pennsylvania shows inspection programs do work and should continue.
Its conclusion was it does save lives and it does keep people safer.
Senator Huffines thinks the Pennsylvania study is an outlier.
If this was about safety, I can assure you the federal government wouldn't have gotten rid of it in the 70s.
A new push to abolish state inspections.
Everything passed, everything looked good.
That could impact thousands of garage owners Bottom line.